All right, round 5. We got a spicy matchup versus, wow, I said versus first. Easy to win. Now insert versus here. Versus HunterV. And we did confirm that it is HunterV, as I will get into a little bit later. Maybe. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So, yeah, this is going to be a pretty good matchup. Let's go ahead and see who's able to take it. And this is where the spice comes in with the decks, too. Just take a look right quick at HunterV's deck during this matchup. Let's go ahead and get into
it. But even if you comes after that, like, I'm still not gonna do. Like, what would I even do? I have no threat to me.
Yeah, like, what are you gonna
say? I'm gonna stop commentating.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Oh, could you imagine? Me not in the casting booth? Ugh, unthinkable.
And there's
he's
already
into
the game.
When did he sneak
There
in
we
the
go.
game?
We
sneak in the game.
Let's go. We got game 1 of Duels of Runeterra 17 round 5. HunterV versus Ez2Win. The winner definitely makes it into the top cut. The loser, well, who knows at this point? Probably not.
Probably not.
Probably not. So we'll see what happens here in just a second. Looks like Scout. So we have Scout Bear match to get started. This is not fearsome at all. 100%.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you got to bring multiple decks, you know.
Yeah, and actually, let me see if I can adjust this. There we go. Just so it's a little
I will
bit
say,
bigger for
though,
you
on the
guys.
side of HunterV, you know, we've got the Senolution opener, and there's no Fleet Feather tracker on the side of Easy, which is sort of the cleanest answer for that kind of combo. So even if we do see a Protege come down on 3, you already will have the Lucian Senna developed, and as long as your opponent can't get an open attack on 3 to kill those. But I was going to say we could see a Blinding Assault here, but we have Ranger's Resolve, so now it doesn't matter.
Yeah, this is a heck of a curve for Hunter here. You know, Lucian Senna always feels good. It's always difficult to kind of figure out which one you want to die, which one you don't want to die.
I mean, we say that, but I feel like I kill Lucian every single time. It's not a decision.
Generally, yeah. I mean, you definitely prefer not to have that rally effect on the field, but like a lot of times, especially if the Lucian Senna deck is being really aggressive, you can't afford to take that double attack damage depending on how the attack is ordered from that Senna. So it's it can be a difficult decision sometimes, but wow, Laurent Protege is basically a wall to this Lucian. Question is, do we still drop the Senna and just go in for the attack here?
It is appealing to greed out this Ranger's Resolve and then go for the Senna and get down 2 Sennas before my opponent can actually attack again. If you go for the Ranger's Resolve and Ez2Win has Sharp Sight, you are in an infinitely worse position, and I think that's the consideration that HunterV has made here and is going to play the Senna and says, you know what? Go ahead, take my Lucian, take my husband. It doesn't matter. I'm going to power up girl power. Here we go. I've got double strike.
Okay. I wasn't expecting that one. Yeah, so just sacrificing the Lucian there. I'm very up in the air as to whether or not I agree with that decision. I can't say whether or not it's right or wrong.
It's playing around Sharp Sight at the end of the day, I think.
Yeah, possibly. But I don't know. I mean, it doesn't feel bad to have a quote-unquote leveled up Senna on the field. So one way or the other, I still think you're in an okay spot for Hunter. The problem is, how do you go about this next turn now? Do we go ahead and do something like play this hired gun, give something vulnerable? Whatever we do give vulnerable will be able to get challenged by this Senna and probably just die pretty easily. So I don't know if you want to try to bait something else out. Unfortunately, it doesn't have another 2-drop to pair with the hired gun. If we do play another Senna, that means the hired gun is now off the table. So kind of unfortunate. This still forces the block with the Laurent Protege, where you take 10 damage. This is a big deal. Ez2Win, I should say. Obviously, you want to try to go wide with this deck, so losing a unit is not going to be very good. And yeah, opts to take the 10 damage to the face. Not necessarily a tempo swing, but man, is that a Nexus health swing. Woo!
Yeah, and that's where things get a little bit dicey in these Scout mirrors. You need to preserve your board more so than your life total, but it does put you in these situations where there is the tiniest bit of over-the-top damage, and even things like Cythria or Genevieve, or just the way that Scouts come out and the games play out, you can get punished for preserving your board, especially since what you preserved here is a 2-1 challenger. It will prevent your opponent from getting down the Senna, though, and it's not like Ez2Win doesn't have damage on the pushback. You really don't want to play on defense with this Senna, and it looks like he just really wants to float all of his mana. He says, you know what, I really don't care about getting down this hired gun. I very much value the actual playability on this card rather than the body it gets down, and is going to be rewarded for it, because now you can go ahead and throw that hired gun down onto a Misfortune.
Yeah, this feels really good being able to get hired gun to hit Misfortune here. It's about the highest value you're going to get in this particular matchup. Because, you know, if you do get vulnerable on something like a Genevieve or a Cythria, sure, it feels good if you can actually remove it, but generally you won't be able to. So, yeah, this is great. I don't think you bother blocking this attack. I mean, your opponent's at 7. I think you can kind of afford to take some damage. But it looks like we are going to go ahead and put through the block. This is actually going to allow the hired gun to live through this attack 100% and still kill this scout attacking unit, which is a big deal. You know, it's going to make it so that Misfortune cannot get additional procs of her level up on future turns. And it's going to just leave Loyal Badger Bear as an attacker here, which would die going into this Senna. And the Senna would now live because of this tough attribute.
So I think we can get down our Misfortune when combat's kind of all said and done and cleaned up, and you know we don't have to worry about this protege taking her out. I don't think single combat is something that we've seen out of any of these scout decks, so we should be good to go ahead and get that down. And then following that up with the Genevieve turn is going to be absolutely backbreaking for Easy. And I mean, you can just afford to take the rest of the damage this turn. Do you want to sacrifice your protege to kill the hired gun? It doesn't matter because we found a Bright Steel Protector. I feel like there have been so many times today where these rude players interrupt me in the middle of a point.
Oh, the sharp sight to kill the Senna. And I think that's a really big deal here. No way that Hunter is going to be able to protect this Senna either. It's just going to die. And really unfortunate. I mean, we do have a follow-up Misfortune. They'll get a little bit of work done. But now that this Senna is off the field, yeah, not too sure Hunter's in a good spot now. Relentless Pursuit is a thing.
Oh, 1 mana shy.
Yeah. Wow.
That probably would have been the ball game. I mean, if you can get the challengers off your opponent's side of the field and preserve this Genevieve, then you can level Misfortune on the following turn. I don't think you get to preserve the Genevieve here, though. I mean, you could. You could just take out the protege, you know, take out this Misfortune with the hired gun, and then, you know, next turn, and that's suddenly still on the table.
Yeah, it's not as amazing as you'd like it to be, but
it's a little dicier now, but like as long as the Misfortune levels, the game should end.
Yeah, especially with Ez2Win being at 7. And, you know, that just goes back to that first decision to take that 10 damage from that Senna instead of, offering up the trade of the Laurent Protege. Ultimately...
Granted, that Protege did get a lot of work done.
Well, yeah, that Protege did end up killing the Senna ultimately, right? So, I mean,
yeah.
I don't necessarily think it was the wrong decision, but, I mean, that's kind of the downside of taking that attack, right? Obviously, you are going to go really low. You have no heal in your deck. So you do have to be aware that, yeah, Misfortune could just end up killing you, and there's no challengers to get rid of it as it currently stands.
He did sacrifice his remaining scout, though, in order to absolutely ensure the death of the Misfortune, not wanting to get blown out by something like either a Ranger's Resolve or a Sharp Sight. Neither one of those actually protected it from the Genevieve, whereas both of them, or either one of them, rather, would have protected it from the hired gun. So HunterV understanding the outs that Ez2Win could have, and this definitely feels like HunterV's game to lose. He's very much in the driver's seat, so he's going to play it a little bit safe, maybe take some calculated risks rather than some all-in ones, and I don't think that Ez2Win has the answers here. He's been sitting on the spell mana for a little while, and now things are going to get a little dicey for Hunter as there's a lot of damage being pushed through. I'm not quite sure it's lethal, though, and if it's not lethal, Hunter definitely has it on the following turn.
Yeah, he just needs to live. He just needs to live. So it looks like we are going to offer up the hired gun for the trade. Save some damage. I imagine we're just going to get everybody attacking here. Yep. And there is going to be 2 blocks. So the Misfortune is just going to get challenged. We live at 1. We don't even have to block with Cythria, technically. Do we need to or want to block with Cythria and put this damage on her?
If anything, we would block the Badger Bear, I think, because we don't want Sharp Sight to kill the Cythria.
Huh. Okay, yeah, no, that is a good point. We do want to make sure we're blocking a 3 attack unit, so well, we'll see if we do offer up that block. And I think
Or
he's really
maybe
considering.
we just go to 1 here.
Yeah, because I don't think it matters, right? Like whether you're at 1 or you're at 4, I'm not sure it matters. But I also am not sure it matters whether or not you put damage on your Cythria right now, right?
Yeah, it's kind of a weird thing because you're pretty sure that Hunter has to win the game with the misfortune over the top damage, and he is currently 1 shy of doing it. I think the overwhelm on the MF is actually going to get it all cleaned up. So,
Oh, wait.
yeah, I mean, huh?
Wait, I'm thinking. We don't ever play Relentless this turn and then attack with the Cythria, do we? No.
I don't think it matters too much because you can get down, like a quick attack unit on the following turn.
Okay, actually, well, even better. We have a Fleet Feather Tracker.
Yeah.
That's actually amazing because that's essentially going to be a free attack if we need to. We'll see what Easy to Win decides to summon here. Looks like nothing. Okay. Another Cythria. And the Fearsome doesn't really matter. It's just going to be 4 for 4 right now as far as units are concerned. If we do attack with everything, I imagine, yep, we're going to keep this Misfortune. So it does level up on the following turn.
And I think even if there's a Ranger's Resolve coming out of Easy to Win, because we have double Cythria, the MF will still be big enough with the Overwhelm to end the game. And yeah, as we had mentioned, aside from Random's opponent, not a lot of concerted strikes coming out of Scouts. Almost no single combats either. We are very aggro, playing all in on this Ranger's Resolve, Relentless Pursuit. Maybe there's some riposte. Sharp Sight has been the mainstay. But yeah, this should be Easy to Win falling in game number 1. And honestly, I thought this was the finals. We were so hyped for this match coming in that I forgot.
Oh man, yeah, no, this is not even finals. This is just to see who makes it to the top cut. And yeah, I think Quinn summoned something, so that's good, but it's still not gonna help with this overwhelm on the Misfortune coming up here.
Yeah, I mean, if it was a Misfortune on the side of Easy to Win and he could have responded to this Relentless Pursuit with Make It Rain, I think that was the only way that he ever has a chance of coming back into this. And even then, like, you're still not killing your opponent's Cythrias. Welcome to Limbo. We've been there for a little while. I haven't been calling it lately.
Welcome to Misfortune level 2. Is what we should be saying.
We've seen this so often today, and I feel a lot of times when we were watching EU Duels of Runeterra 17 champion Salty Simon play, I cannot count how many times that guy leveled MF on 5.
Oh my god, yeah, it was almost every time the deck got played. Yeah. And actually, I wanted to... Alright, I was going to do this in between rounds because we were trying to wait until Hunter got started here. But I'm going to offer this up to chat. I'm going to see who in chat can actually, if you know this. You have to answer pretty quickly because if you cheat and look this up, I'm not counting it. So I don't really know how to prevent any cheating, but I'm going to throw this out there anyways because I highly doubt most people even remember this. The very first Duels of Runeterra. Who was the winner of Duels of Runeterra number 1? You have like 10 seconds. Go. Because
was it Ace?
Well, no, you're wrong.
No, it was some total random in NA, but I think it was Ace in EU.
No, that was Duels of Runeterra 3 EU.
Oh, okay. I know it was a total random for number 1 NA.
Blevin says Sasuke. Lupo Buccino says Swim. Curious to see whatever. BBG from Kuvira. I don't know why. I always want to say Kuvira whenever I see Kuvira. Not a teenager.
Sorry,
BBG.
guys, but I was right. It was a total random.
Yeah, it is a total. No. Oh, okay, you already said it. I was going to wait for some more guesses, but yes.
No, they've had enough time.
That's right. Yeah, otherwise they're probably cheating and looking. The answer is Mofu from Duels of Runeterra number 1. That is a throwback. Why? Because I have no idea who that person is whatsoever.
How many people do you think were in Duels of Runeterra number 1?
Probably 20 and change. Yeah, probably 20 and change. Maybe even less than that.
I love the like respect though. It's like, look, some of these memes have been here since the beginning. The tournaments haven't necessarily had the prestige to them since the beginning.
Yeah, exactly. I'd say right around Duels of Runeterra 5 is when everybody was like, yeah, this is a thing. So, yeah, who? Oh, I love the emote. I love the emote. The fox with the magnifying glass. It's amazing.
All of Legends of Runeterra's problems would be solved if Mofu had just stuck around.
Yeah, right? Mofu, the true champion. The true champion that we all need. We all deserve Mofu. Oh, man. We have Lee Sin off the top. Oh, wait a second. I was calling the draw off the top of Lee Sin, and then it just kicked in my head that we're watching a Lee Sin match. Wow. This, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, we haven't been seeing this over the last couple of days. We have a wild Lee Sin deck. A Lee Sin deck in the wild we are currently watching play.
And Ez2Win is playing Leona Aesol?
I would reckon.
Just really liking these Demacia decks. You know, you can't run Concerted Strike and Scouts unless you're Random Sevens opponent, but you can run it in this deck, and I mean, I still like the way that this deck is poised into the meta. Never mind, this is Lux 100%. I like this even more. I was kind of curious what an anti-Feel the Rush lineup would look like, and I'm not convinced that Targon Lux wouldn't make its way into that lineup, because you can Hush a Tryndamere and then block it. It's only got 4 HP. Detain is another card that works very effectively against Feel the Rush. And, I mean, your opponent's going to tap out to play it, so you definitely get the Detain down on the turn that they do it. I mean, if you wanted to, there are a lot of things that you can actually do in Demacia if your opponent taps out to do something big like Feel the Rush. And because it's not getting the infinite value of the War Mothers, immediate answers like Detain are extremely effective against it. And if your opponent's, if your opponent's sitting at full mana, 13 mana, and your opponent goes Feel the Rush, you can go Detain Unyielding Spirit.
Yeah, Detain Unyielding Spirit sounds
now
like a decent combo.
Now, I'm getting a little wild. That is, not super likely to happen, but it is something that you can do in a matchup like this. And even if you detain something and then your unit dies, it doesn't come back out as a 10-10. It's going to reset the stats on that unit. And, I mean, it was like something that I had theorized. Obviously, I'm here. I didn't get to test it this weekend. I don't think anybody sort of took that kind of lineup in. But, I am curious to see if Ez2Win is at least playing the Detain.
Yeah, Detain. So I think the only reason people even remember Detain as a card is thanks to Tom Kench. I don't think we really remembered what the capture keyword did, but yeah, it's only a 13 mana combo, Boulevard. That's fine.
Well,
that's fine.
Feel the Rush is a 12 mana combo.
Yeah. I don't think it's classified as a combo, but yeah.
It's a combo. So many times I've been talking with people, they're like, "Oh, it's a combo." I'm like, "It's a 1-card combo? Like that's just a card."
Real quick too, I saw some BBGs in chat. Kuvira mentioned BBG as well, and BBG actually, just for posterity's sake, won Duels of Runeterra 6 NA, and that was the same week that Fresh Lobster won Duels of Runeterra 6 EU. So just a little bit of a throwback there. Some historical Duels of Runeterra.
Duels of Runeterra 6 is where we started counting them, is what I'm hearing. Apologies to everybody who won before that. Never mind. There's okay. Well, you know what? We'll count.
Wait, what do you mean counting? What do you mean? They're all counted. What are you talking about?
No, they're not counted. We don't count
we
those.
Count.
Those are fake.
No, those are.
We don't count them when they were Monokuma Esports.
Oh, is that before it got changed to Duels of Runeterra? Was 1 through 5?
I don't remember when it got.
I thought it was like 12.
Somewhere between 5 and 7.
Really? I thought it was like later than that.
Ooh, absolutely not.
No, maybe not. I don't know. I mean, Andy Desu and Shui won EU and NA for 5, so I feel like there were some good players.
No, they didn't, because those don't count. Sorry, guys.
Wow!
Gotta win a new one.
Wow, Jesus. Completely playing down the previous winners. The historical players of the game. This is how we got to where we are, Boulevard.
I will always remember you, but not as a Duels of Runeterra winner.
Oh, man.
That actually, it brings up another point that I've heard in card games. If somebody joins a team, do you get to count their accolades that they had before they joined your team for your team?
Like if you put them up on the website, like Guardia, member of Team Aretuza.
Oh, it's like, actually our team absolutely dominated this year, and it's like, no, you picked up the free agent that dominated, and like he got 10 wins and then joined your team, but like you guys didn't help him do that.
Yeah, no, I don't think you do. I think the only reason that's even a question right now is because Runeterra is still very much in its infancy phase as far as esports is concerned. So that's why that might potentially happen. But like, imagine if a League of Legends player left Cloud9 and went to TSM, and TSM was like, "Yeah, our team dominated last year, even though Cloud9 won." Like, no.
I mean, it's a little different when it's card games because it's a one-player thing. Like
yeah, I gotcha. But yeah, no, I don't think it counts.
Gotcha.
So much.
So we are going to be able to stun out the Lee Sin here on. I mean, it's like turn 7. Not a whole lot has actually happened. Both players still sitting at 20. Okay, we have the deny for the Comet, so yeah, the Lee Sin gonna survive. It's getting kind of up there in years. It's still got the Zenith Blade on it. This Overwhelm's gonna come in big, and unfortunately, not every Targon supporter passes them down like some of the other cards. So, you can buff up the second Mentor of Stones, but at the end of the day, you cannot throw this +4/+4 onto the Lee Sin.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's going to happen. Another guiding touch off the top on the side of HunterV here. Oh, forgot to actually update the score. So HunterV, for anybody just joining, is actually up 1-0 here. And again, both players currently undefeated. So curious to see where this goes, because the winner will definitely make top cut. Loser probably has a really small shot to make a top cut, from what we've seen.
Even if they don't, they're not going home. We like to say loser goes home with nothing, but that's not the case, because top 8 is still in the money. And even if you're not playing out, you still get something.
Yeah. It's fine. It's fine. So, yeah, it's Lee Sin, though. So it's weird. I have to kind of get back into, like, a mode of casting Lee Sin, just because we haven't seen it all day.
Okay. If we see Morning Light, that's pretty close to lethal.
Yes.
That is double stun. That is an additional +1/+1 onto the 2 units. That is, another randomly generated... Okay, just shy. But we are getting another stun. This is going to be a really big push on the side of Easy.
Wow.
Not a lethal push, because he is only actually sitting at 20... Actually, he's only sitting at 19 damage on board. You could take all of this.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, barely. But, I mean, well, you do also have Guiding Touch to kind of heal up a little bit, too. So I don't think you're too concerned about it. And, I mean, I don't think you need to save both Mentor of the Stones here. It kind of stinks the 2/3.
Well, one of them's getting stunned.
Yeah. Because, Jesus, buffing Lee Sin again is going to be insane. Another 2/2 on top of that 4/7 already is going to be kind of nuts. I mean, you just throw it under the 5/5? Yeah, it looks like... Yeah. Looks like, yeah, I mean, this gives you a shot of surviving another large attack, too, on a future turn, so... We'll see if there's any kind of response, and, ooh...
Just wanting to push as much damage as possible. The problem that you're going to run into is that, the Lee Sin does have one-shot potential on the following turn, especially with these gems coming out. I don't think there's a world where the Lee doesn't level, even if it was currently at 0 out of 8.
No way.
That said, though, Easy, I think, only has to survive one Lee Sin attack, and then he's absolutely got it on the crackback.
Yeah.
If there's a Hush in his hand, I think Easy just wins.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't think that we would have had Easy go for an attack like that and go for such a big turn if we didn't have some sort of backup to avoid Lee Sin, killing us next turn with Overwhelm, because this is going to be a huge Lee Sin. We even see the Sonic Wave in hand. This is going to be able to end the game unless there's some sort of response. So we'll see. We'll see what Hunter is able to put together here. And yes, Owie, thank you very much for the raid. If y'all haven't heard, Owie got second place in Duels of Runeterra 17. This sounds so weird. Day 1 of the EU side, and then first place in the NA side. So having an amazing weekend thus far, Owie. But thank you very much for the raid, and welcome everybody from Owie's stream. We're getting into game 2 here of HunterV versus Ez2Win in round 5. The winner will advance to the top cut. The loser, most likely not. But HunterV up 1 game so far.
And this is what it comes down to. We're going to see the Pale Cascade to get this up to 10. Oh, no, that's right. The Mentor of Stones hasn't gone off yet. Okay. I was like, it's getting up to 10 somehow.
I'll get that.
And now it's just a matter of, do you have a Hush? Or, I mean, there's actually a lot that Easy could have. Detain also does it. Concerted Strike, not quite. This is a 10-10. It's going to be a little bit too hard for you to deal with. But there's no protection in Hunter's hand. He's got, 4 draw, but there is a certain point where you no longer have enough mana to play the actual answer.
What do we got? This is the 20. Does he have Hush? Well,
single combat will do it.
Yeah. And wow, okay, yeah. Single combat means that the Leona is no longer on the field, and only the overwhelm damage will go through. And that's an interaction I think a lot of players a lot of times miss or just don't really consider. If your unit is dead, it does not get kicked into the Nexus with Dragon's Rage, so you do avoid half of the damage anyways. Not all of it, but half.
So something interesting here is that if Hunter had more mana, he could get this Lee Sin up to 20 attack.
Oh,
with
Jesus.
the Pale Cascade that he threw down onto that.
Oh, wow. Wait, yeah, there's 3 Sonic Waves. Oh, my God.
I think it would have taken a full mana bar, but, I mean, it would have been really funny to see. You're like, oh, I have the answer. And it's like, it doesn't matter. I'm actually coming in with a 20 attack overwhelm unit. And this is why I feel like we all kind of downplayed Field of Rush. Because we're used to seeing 10-10s with Overwhelm on our opponent's side of the field. In fact, we're used to seeing 10-10s with Overwhelm that kick things into our Nexus and one-shot us. What does two 10-10s with Overwhelm mean to me?
that cost way more mana, no less.
Yeah.
So, like, who
12 mana Pasha, Lee Sin's 5.
We don't need no stinking 12 mana 10-10s. We want our 5 mana 10-10s that just instantly win the game.
Yeah, I don't want to, like, play this big spell and pull two 10-10s out of my deck. No, I want to be there from birth to death. I want to build him up on my own. I want to give him all the things in the world and really have him, work for me. I want to build this man up and do what I can for him.
And there's the 10. So down to 9 right now for easy to win. Man, this is going to be close. I'm really curious to see if HunterV can survive whatever easy to win has as far as aggression is concerned on this next turn. Because easy to win still has 7 mana. There is a very good possibility that we see more development here. We could even just go into an open attack. We could have plenty of other... Okay, Remembrance is a thing. So now we could get... Yep, Radiant Guardian. So lots of options here, I think, for easy to win. We will get a Dragonling, it looks like. That's going to come out as a blocker, which is a big deal. It will mitigate some of the damage, even throwing Zed down just in case. So HunterV definitely recognizes, okay, I need to start throwing things on the field because I might just die to a really wide open attack.
Yeah, we had mentioned that if Easy was able to survive the turn, had a really good shot at winning on the crackback. Granted, Hunter has gained a lot of life since then, and I'm actually a little surprised to see the kill on the Zed rather than the Dragonling, since that is still representing 2 units as well as a little bit of lifesteal.
Yeah, and let's see. I'm so curious as to what easy to win has in hand on this last turn, because this very well may be game, because we really see a whole lot of nothing in hand on the side of HunterV. Hush is the only kind of defensive tool. Unless we do get this Spacey Sketcher down. All right, this is big, because if we get Spacey Sketcher down into Crescent Strike, this might mitigate any damage that comes through for game.
I don't think Easy to Win's playing another card before he goes to combat.
Oh, that's a good point, because it is slow speed.
Or if he does, it's going to be Leona's Morning Light, in which case 2 units are going to get stunned anyway, so the Crescent Strike isn't going to make too much of a difference. You do still have the Hush to redevelop a blocker, and because the left half of Easy's board is so weak right now, I don't know that they've got lethal represented.
Yeah, I'm trying to put the math together to see.
Ooh, but there's no Crescent Strike.
Oh, man, it's just not even the Crescent Strike. So if there is another Daybreak effect that comes down, that I think it would be game at that point. No Crescent Strike is pretty big. Oh. We would have the additional blocker in the Messenger, I guess, but yeah, okay, no. So wait, 2, 4. He lives, actually, as it currently stands.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's only 5 damage represented on the left half of the board, and I'm still... a little questioning of not using the single combat on the Eye of the Dragon. The Zed wasn't necessarily that threatening on attacks, and I feel like you had to do whatever you could to win this turn, knowing that unless he has another answer for the Lee Sin, but I mean, that's scary because you did take the 1 hit. Unless your answer is specifically Hush, single combat's not really going to work a second time because Hunter can considerably just get this Lee Sin into range of killing you.
Yeah, this is... he's going to go down to 5. I'm trying to think of anything easy to win could have to push additional damage. Pale Cascade doesn't really quite do it, and yeah, it doesn't look like he has anything additional.
I mean, Lux pushes a little bit of damage, but, I mean, that's not happening this turn. We're so far away from something like that.
All right, well, Mountain Goat not going to do a whole lot. So at this point, it's really, okay, here we go. Attempt number 2 for Lee Sin trying to kick you in the face. Let's see if this is going to work. I don't know if it will.
You'd have to have single combat and some kind of healing. You can get up to 18 damage on this Lee Sin this turn. Actually, 19 if you want to use the Zenith Blade as well. But I don't think you ever play a slow spell into Leona Ravoon.
Oh, that's hard. Do you actually try to get? Well, no. All right, so no, you can just attack with the Lee Sin. You buff it with like a Sonic Wave so he gets Challenger and Barrier, and then you have enough in hand to, like you said, put it up to 18 or a little bit higher. So this makes sense, just going in for the open attack still. So single combat and concerted strike, stuff like that, those are not going to save the game for easy to win right now. It's only going to be what looks like a Hush. I can't think of, are there any other options?
single combat and any healing spell, because Hunter is only representing 18 damage.
Oh, you're saying single combat on top of like star shaping?
Guiding touch is more what I had in mind, but yeah, Star Shape can do it as long as you can get above 18. And I think that Hunter, okay, he's not actually going to go for it.
Oh, I don't know. Well, wait, ooh, he's playing the 5-mana deep med.
Yeah, no, he's not going for it. I'm trying to think of how many punishes there are if you do go for it. I mean, obviously, like a Star Shaping or a Guiding Touch isn't great, but what are the odds that you could also have Concerted Strike or Single Combat because you do have a Lifesteal unit. So yeah, I mean, there are a lot of outs that your opponent could have, and using that many resources is questionable, especially when you are still removing the unit. Is Easy actually going to be able to kill you on the crackback? It's not looking likely.
I guess my question is, when in the hell are you using these Sonic Waves and Resonating Strikes otherwise? It's not like they're a huge mana commitment, and your only win condition is Lee Sin anyways, right?
I am a little surprised not to see the Resonating Strike that we have in hand, just because I think the only other card that we're playing this turn is the Goat. And I don't hate the idea because like 1 damage is good. It's mana efficient for what we're actually going for. I believe that our opponent is, still has some amount of healing in the deck, as we saw them go from 10 to 17 again already. It's not a game-ending misplay. I don't think it actually matters, but okay, yeah. So there was the Star Shaping. We had the answer in case HunterV did all in on that. So good patience on his part.
Yeah, I don't know. I really do think that playing those is like you're never really going to get a chance to play those regardless. But what I will say is, now that the Star Shaping is out of hand, it's more likely, obviously, that we don't have a Star Shaping. So if we try for round 3 of Lee Sin trying to kick you in the face, maybe that's when we start to see those all come out. And if we see another single combat or something similar, then yeah, we will actually have a game at that point. So, but does Win have the third one?
Ooh, okay. This second Star Shaping is big because unit coming out of this is going to win Easy to win the game because there are 2 hushes on the side of HunterV. Supernova, on the other hand.
Yeah.
Killing the Lee Sin, because as we talk about a lot, the second Lee Sin is nowhere near as threatening as the first one. Mm-hmm. It's going to come down as, what is it now, a 4/6?
Yeah. Yeah. No, it would be a 4/6, and I think this is one of the things we've talked about in the past too with Targon Demacia, where this is kind of one of the win conditions is stall the game out. You get these larger elusives, and the Hush is going to completely shut this down.
And it's so funny because it did specifically almost have to be exactly double Hush. One of the things that Lee Sin struggles with is actually popping spell shields. Mm-hmm. There's not a whole lot in the deck that they actually play in order to target units. I don't even think Concussive Palm is something that we're necessarily seeing en masse. I think a lot of players are starting to cut down on that. So it almost did have to be exactly double Hush.
Are we not actually killing it with the Lee Sin just because we know this is going to be our last attack turn?
What do you mean?
Well, we could have blocked the Great Beyond with the Lee Sin there with the barrier.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I guess. I don't think you wanted your Lee Sin to get hushed.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just feel like...
I think you lose if your Lee Sin gets hushed. There's no real reason to kill it either. You're trying to end the game this turn. How many single combats can Easy to Win possibly have?
Well, if you get hushed, you're going to get hushed anyways, right? Like you would get hushed this turn.
That's true. So I mean, but now you can still kill the Great Beyond though, and preserve your Lee Sin.
Oh, there's the Hush. And well, let's see. Now, is there something to kill the Lee Sin?
I mean, the Concerted Strike kills the Lee Sin.
Okay, yeah, there's the Concerted Strike. So I think you're a little bit ahead of me. FYI.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. So yeah, that Concerted Strike is gonna kill the Lee Sin, and I think that. Yeah, this is... Oh, wow. Okay, we have a Wild Will of Ionia. This is a card. So we not only kill the Great Beyond because of all these Sonic Waves, and he did save, so maybe I'm going to eat my words here with saving these Sonic Waves. But, okay, no, we're not going to use the... Oh. Yeah, that's... Never mind.
He didn't account for the Fury, which, I mean... Who remembers that Great Beyond has Fury?
Nobody. At least I wouldn't have remembered that. Yeah. That feels a little bad to not kill it because now you're just going to... Well, you could Will of Ionia it, I guess.
Yeah, that's exactly... You could just... And we draw a second one because there is still another big Celestial, but yeah, that one is just a little bit too much for you to handle. Actually, it's not because you're somehow back up to 13 life.
Okay, there's another wild great beyond. It's Jesus. Okay, so we still have the overwhelm on the Lee Sin. We still have a way to increase the attack to 10 as well. This would be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're actually, well, we'd have to get another gem from the goat for that to be a thing. But we have both Will of Ionias. All right, we just need to use one.
All right, show me a Bastion.
Wow, yeah, right?
Show me Bastion easy to win.
Well, Bastion still wouldn't... We could play both Will of Ionias on it, so...
That's true.
Bastion still wouldn't win, but this does not win. We need one more Pale Cascade off the top. No? Guess not. All right. So we're at 1. This is such a swingy game. Oh my god. This has gone back and forth so many turns. This is insane.
All right. How many turns in a row can you answer the Lee Sin? Granted, the Lee Sin is, I think, just shy of lethal.
Okay.
It's at, what, 9 attack?
Nopify is not bad if there is the third single combat. And this is the last. This has to be the last turn. Now that, because the other Great Beyond isn't dead because of that misplay on the Fury.
So you do currently represent lethal because, 2 of these units are going to go unblocked. And yeah, as long as you grab this Radiant Guardian, did we finally find a way? Is it really going to be a 20-0 after all this time?
Jesus. I'm going to be really... There would have to be what? Another... No, Concerted Strike would do it because of the Great Beyond. So...
You have Will of you have Will of Ionia, though.
Oh, yeah. Will would turn the... So there'd have to be...
No, it doesn't.
2 Concerted Strikes?
No, because you can't... So Concerted Strike, I think, would do it because you can't Will of Ionia the Radiant Guardian or you don't win the game.
Or the Great Beyond spell shield.
Because it has the spell shield.
So, yeah, Concerted Strike would do it.
Have we finally found the situation where Easy to Win is out of answers, and at 1 HP, HunterV is going to take this game away?
This has been an insane back and forth, and Hush just does it again, right? Is there how many Hushes have we seen? Just one, right? Do we have another Hush? There's no Hush! Oh, wow.
I wanted to answer you, but I'm like sitting here staring at the surrender screen like I need to wait for him to catch up.
Oh my god, there's no Hush. And HunterV, after a hell of a game, gonna go ahead and take that one from Easy to Win. That was a whole heck of a lot of back and forth. That was insane. And it looks like Finnick did beat Team Aretuza's M8 Asher. So we just have Rowdy and Messiah still playing to see who's going to go ahead and continue on to the top cut. We have at least one Team Aretuza member. We'll see if Rowdy's able to pick up a win versus Messiah, or if Messiah from Brazil will be going on to the top cut. All right, HunterV taking it with that spice. God, I love this fearsome deck so much. It's so amazing. But as always, everybody stay healthy, stay positive. I hope shit just works here. Peace out.